Well, are you ready to talk about some Tenacious D?
Oh my God.
Some School of Rock?
Great freaking Scott.
Yeah, we better go back to the future to sort this mess out.
Marty! I just found out I was cast in Star Wars.
You know, of all the cameos, that one was the least intrusive in this
I'm
episode.
a Star Wars villain.
That one was a cool. I was okay with that one. I think that one didn't feel intrusive at all. But man, Jack Black and what's her face? Oh,
Nacho freaking Star Wars character.
Oh, man.
Okay, so hang on. It's episode 6 of Mandalorian season 3.
Is this 6?
It's 6.
We got 2 more after this.
2 more to go, and we're
hopefully we don't have intrusive cameos in them.
We're playing fast and loose with the story that we're supposed to be telling here because hey, we got 2 episodes left. We can tell the story later. We'll get to
some Hollywood big shots want to be in our show. Let's just throw them in wherever.
Next week, Bruno Mars is spoiler warning. Hello and welcome to the Movie Men podcast.
Da B-Team.
That's Carl.
And that over there somewhere is Brady.
That right there, over there, that guy there.
Oh, yeah. Howard.
You know, I've been hating on season 3
quite a bit
of The Mandalorian quite a bit.
Yeah. And
I'm here to tell you to buckle up because I'm about to double down.
Yeah. I'm there with you for some of it in this episode.
This might be the worst episode of this show to date.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
There are some redeeming moments for sure.
The parts that didn't have Jack Black in them, I thought were really good. Quick rundown of the episode.
Okay.
Right? We're
back on Tatooine.
The Mandalorian and Bo-Katan are going to round up the rest of the Mandalorians to unite them. So they end up going to Bo-Katan's Night Owl gang first, who happen to have a contract with this planet to help protect them. The planet is ruled by elected leaders, Jack Black and some singer that I don't know of.
Are we supposed to believe
pittance?
Are we is what Star Wars is what the Mandalorian's trying to tell us, the show is trying to tell us? Are we supposed to believe at this point that this was because this is like they're guns for hire? They'll do whatever whoever is paying them to do wants them to do. I'm guessing the suggestion is that this is the crew that broke Moff Gideon out.
I don't think so.
No,
we went into this last episode. And that it could have been Imperial Mandalorians that were for the Empire.
Yeah.
The other 2 theories are that it was Mandalorians who had a hate on for Moff Gideon and killed him. Not likely. And then the third option is that it was just Imperial troopers who had Mandalorian weapons and armor. Because that Moff Gideon's Imperial crew had vast amounts of Beskar made available to them because they conquered the planet.
Yeah. You've also done what I usually do, and you've already skipped an entire part of this episode.
Well, I was doing a rundown of the episode, and you interrupted.
The part of the episode where the writer room sat down and they're like, okay, so how can we have a 4-minute interracial romance story while also reminding people that this crew exists? Don't worry. This whole storyline doesn't have to have anything to do with anything. We don't need to touch on it again. It's not actually important. It's just we're gonna see some creature in a tank who's in a relationship with the Mon Calamari and smuggling them out of Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great. What? Like when it started, I was like, oh, this is like, what is the storyline going to be? I was like, this might be another one of those episodes where we don't actually see Din. Like this could just be one of those weird offshoot backstory episodes, which I actually kind of enjoy. Those episodes, like my favorite episodes of Mandalorian are the ones that the Mandalorian's not in. But it just meant nothing. It had nothing to do with anything. It was just like, really. It was literally there to say that the Night Owl team are guns for hire.
Yeah.
Which is literally the title of the episode.
Yeah, the person who's leading them, the I can't remember his name. He and his second in command, we did see in the Mandalorian season 2 when Bo-Katan, when we first met Bo-Katan in live action, like they were kind of, those two characters were flanking her. Now he's in charge and she's second in command. So, I mean, it kind of relayed that, and that they're guns for hire. The rest of it was kind of fluff. However, I thought it was kind of interesting fluff because, like, the Mon Calamari prince was running away with a, I can't remember the species right now, but both those creatures are from the same planet, and they usually, they don't get along.
Oh no, I enjoyed this.
That was kind of cool, and it was kind of cool to see how the captain's chair was also a fish tank. And
I wish this scene had been the setup, but actually had been the setup for this episode. I wish this was what this episode had been about. But no. That would make too much storytelling sense. We're simply going to just have this scene in there and then tell you some bullshit story about Jack Black's battle droids that are being overthrown by Doc Brown and
yeah. So
and really drive home this whole story about like, droids need to kick back and go to a bar as well. And I know we've seen that before in several Star Wars properties. We know that these facilities exist, and it felt less stupid in the animated shows.
You have more grace for that kind of stuff in the animated.
Oh yeah, because you're just already like you're already like the battle droids are a little more slapstick, Three Stoogey and stuff. Like you're accepting the fact that things are going to be a little goofy in a TV show.
Yeah.
Right? Like if in a cartoon show you see one droid draw blood from another droid using a syringe, you're like, yeah, it's a cartoon. When you see it live action, you're like, okay, what?
Yeah. So this episode is essentially a CSI episode where our good cop, bad cop, Din Djarin and Bo-Katan have to run this CSI style errand for the leader of the planet so that they can have access to the Mandalorians.
The fact that this episode did not start with a song written by The Who is a damn shame.
Or the CSI Miami, Din Djarin putting on a pair of sunglasses.
Yeah, I guess we've found our droid.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The whole time I'm just literally rolling my eyes watching this episode.
I enjoyed the actual kind of mystery, kind of sleuthing, good cop, bad cop thing. I enjoyed most of that. Like when Din Djarin, when they're like at the warehouse depot place and Din Djarin starts kicking super battle droids. I thought that was hilarious. I loved that. I thought that was great. Yeah. Like the chase after was really fun. Like for the most part, I thought it was like that kind of part of it was good. And then the very last part with where they finally meet the Mandalorians. That being said, it did feel like filler.
I did get a kick out of Din kicking crates out of Super Battle Droid's arms.
Yeah, that was just like, yeah, and it was very good cop, bad cop. Like Bo-Katan's like doing things kind of like good cop by the book, and Din Djarin's like, I know how to get answers, pulls out the gun and tell me what I want to know or I'll blow you all apart, and nobody leaves, and I'm going to find the battle droid by antagonizing all the battle droids.
Can we talk about the ridiculous member berry that happens?
Which one?
So it's a strange one because it's not a direct member berry, but it's still very much like, see what we did? You see what we did? And I'm just like, oh my God, like seriously? When Din and Bo-Katan first arrive on this planet, and they're greeted by two Imperial droids. Two Imperial droids. Not droids we've ever seen before, two Imperial droids. But standing side by side, it's an Imperial protocol droid standing next to an Imperial astromech. Yeah. And I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah. What's the need for both of them?
What's the need to have this, like, protocol droid and astromech? You know what that reminds you of? Do you? Just like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop giving me all this crap I don't need.
Yeah. And we got into this a little bit in our last news episode. But yeah, I really like this episode feels like it more than anything else is that they're trying to tell a story for something else almost.
Mm-hmm.
And there are all kinds of rumors kind of coming out of Lucasfilm that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are trying to tell stories within Mandalorian that were meant for Rangers of the Republic that got canceled. So, like, this feels like one of those episodes.
Which is a shame, because I was really looking forward to that project.
Oh, it would have been really good, yeah. So, man. Yeah.
It was a bad episode.
It was, yeah. It definitely, it felt like a filler episode. As far as like what filler episodes are, this isn't bad. But it definitely feels like kind of filler right up till the very end.
You got to have a lot of nerve, though, to do a filler episode when you've only barely kind of just, although you keep flip-flopping on what your main story is and what the main point of this season is. You keep flip-flopping, and okay, so now you've reestablished a new main point of this season, which is Bo-Katan going and recruiting these other Mandalorians. And with only 2 episodes left to go in your series now, you've gone, hey, you know what? Let's toss in an episode that kind of matters right at the beginning and right at the end. But aside from that, it's not really going to have anything to do with anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I said this about the Coruscant episode that didn't have hardly any Mandalorian action in it at all. That I said at the end of that episode, I said, I hope there's a payoff. It was really good. It seemed very unnecessary. Hope there's a payoff. Again, looking at it, this feels like it was probably a storyline meant for Rangers of the Republic. But yeah, like I feel like this is, oh man, where did my train of thought going? I just lost it. Man. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the payoff could possibly be.
Payoff. Yeah. The payoff for this, there was some payoff for that Coruscant episode in our last episode where the kind of Imperial officer turned Republic desk clerk screwed up some helping a planet. And that then the Mandalorians had to help.
Yeah.
So there's that payoff. How are we going to get any payoff from this? Is Jack Black going to somehow mess with the Mandalorians now? Or like, I don't want to see more Jack Black in Star Wars. I didn't want
Turns
to
out Jack Black was part of the Empire.
Yeah, he was. His character was. That's why. That's why I was saying, is he somehow now going to be an antagonist? But man, like, I can't see how there's any payoff for this outside of the very last 5 minutes of the episode where Bo-Katan takes back her kind of leadership of the Night Owls, and then
and don't even get me started on that.
And then claims the Darksaber, right? With Din Djarin kind of explaining how she rightfully won it, which I didn't even think about when that happened. But it's like that's legit. She legit is the owner of the Darksaber.
Let's call it what it is. Bo-Katan. The whole big thing was like, oh, it's a real problem because she's got to be the leader, and this Darksaber needs to get back into her hands somehow, but it belongs to Din, and the only way for her to get it back from Din is to beat him in battle and blah, 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 and claim it and kill him and blah, blah, blah. And how are we going to do this? Oh, right. We forgot about technicalities.
I wouldn't call it a technicality. It is what happened.
Yeah, but it was like, so then why did it take so long for him to... it was just like a very convenient moment because this happened weeks ago now. And so for him to just be like, I've been holding on to this secret, but technically this is yours here. At the time you need it most.
Well, you put it that way, it seems stupid. But I mean, you're throwing out kind of like the thought, you're making assumptions about the thoughts in the person's head, right? Which is a weak position to take because you can just as easily make the assumption then that he was hanging on to it because he wasn't sure what her motives were.
Right. But
right. So,
but it's still a technicality because there's like 7 moments during his monologue where he could have and probably should have said technically. Right. Well, I mean, like he could have said all that. He could have been like, oh, she beat me in this and, blah, blah, blah. And she rescued me and pulled me out of it. And this kid. So technically this is hers.
Technically the Darksaber still belongs to Darth Maul.
Okay. The whole thing is a massive technicality.
If you want to run technicalities, if you want to like the rules of who owns the Darksaber based on what's been given in TV shows and the TV shows we've seen with it, Darth Maul's technically still the ruler of the Darksaber.
No, because there must be a clause built in for if the owner of the Darksaber is dead.
But he's not dead yet.
Darth Maul at this point? Absolutely he is. This is happening post Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, okay, so he is dead. Yeah.
So technically, the Darksaber belonged to Obi-Wan.
Okay, so the the rules of the Darksaber are you have to be defeated in combat, and then the person who defeats you owns the Darksaber. Right,
and Obi-Wan is the one that finally defeats Darth Maul.
Right. So there's an unspoken caveat here, which is kind of like can drastically change who owns the Darksaber. Mm-hmm. And the caveat is, do you have to be defeated while using the Darksaber?
At which point no one can ever own it now because it's Darth Maul's and Darth Maul is dead.
If you have to be defeated while using it, then yes, Darth Maul owns it. Who claims it when the owner dies?
So I'm saying that caveat does not exist, which at which point, if you follow me here, the Darksaber at this current point in time in Star Wars canon belongs to the half-dead, kind of resurrecting himself Emperor Palpatine.
Precisely.
Because Obi-Wan destroys Darth Maul, so ownership passes to him. Then Vader kills Obi-Wan. So for a time, I guess the Darksaber belongs to Vader. I bet you he wish he had known that because he probably would have used it. And then ultimately what kills Vader is the Force lightning from Palpatine, even though Vader could have saved himself, but just like, no, let me go. Let me go. Let me just look at you with my own eyes. Blah, blah, blah.
For the first time.
For the first time, I'm a bad father. But that means that at this point, in whatever disgusting clone fetus stage Palpatine is in, he's the owner of the Darksaber. And is until Rey kills him, at which point the Darksaber should now belong to Rey.
Right. But actually, so Din, 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon here for the Darksaber.
So
Palpatine actually owns it sooner than that.
Din and Bo-Katan should probably just go suck an egg right now because it doesn't belong to either of them.
Palpatine actually, if you don't have to have the Darksaber to claim ownership of it after defeating the owner, Palpatine actually would technically own it sooner because Palpatine defeats both Maul and his brother Savage on Mandalore when Darth Maul is ruling Mandalore with the Darksaber.
Wait, so do you just have to defeat them or do you have to kill them?
Defeat them.
Oh, so then who the hell knows who owns this friggin' thing?
Well, I mean, like if the person doesn't have to be in possession of it when you defeat them,
yeah,
then it's technically Palpatine because in Clone Wars, he easily spanks Maul and Savage.
Thanks.
Well, when Maul is in possession of it, he doesn't use it against him in that fight.
Right.
But Palpatine still easily
He's the owner.
Defeats them. So he would technically be the owner.
Which kind of makes sense.
Through the entire Clone Wars.
You got something called the Darksaber. It should be with the
Dark Lord of the
worst
Sith
possible guy in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but again, you do like the tracking of if he owned it at that point, then he owns it up until Return of the Jedi, at which point, A New Hope, at which point Vader kills him, but he kind of kills Vader, so he still technically owns it. So when he comes back in Rise of Skywalker, he owns it again. Yeah.
So if when we get our Rey Skywalker film coming up, if Rey doesn't have the Darksaber, I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah. So the rules are messy, right? Mm-hmm. I think
poorly thought out. I think is the correct terminology.
I think the point of it of the rules are if you can make a claim that you've defeated an owner of the Darksaber, then that is feasible and I wouldn't say unreliable or reliable or contestable. That is like valid, kind of a valid claim, right? So in this case, we all overlooked it. Din Djarin was in possession of the Darksaber, and he was defeated by this droid thing. So that droid thing is technically the owner. The droid thing even took it from him. Right?
Yep.
So then Bo-Katan took it and defeated the droid thing. I mean, it's you could call it a technicality, but it's still within the rules.
Well, technically, it doesn't belong to either of them, and that's what I'm staying with that because, belongs to Emperor Palpatine. Good old Sheev. Yeah, that's wow. We just blew the doors wide open on Star Wars.
But I think I thought it was a kind of a really interesting. No, I thought it was a really good payoff. I won't even.
Hang on, I got to send an email here.
Pardon?
Dear Avro.
I thought it was a really good payoff.
It was. No, absolutely.
As Din's explaining it, I'm like, oh crap, that's right. She really is the owner of the Darksaber now.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It just, to me, for whatever reason, it felt, and maybe it's just also because this scene feels tacked on to an otherwise irrelevant episode, that it just felt rushed. It felt very convenient. It felt like, we've got 4 minutes to figure out how they're going to come around and decide to follow her, or at least consider it. And so, okay, let's we have this explanation for how it's going to get back to her. Let's throw it in here real quick and get it done with. And I'm like, isn't this like a major plot point? Why are we just getting it done with?
Well, I don't think they are done with it. I think they're going to build on it even more in the next 2 episodes. I think not only is it a beautiful payoff to the whole Bo-Katan defeating the droid, I think it continues to kind of pay off the last episode where the armorer told her to take off her helmet, and the rest of the Children of the Watch, that this is okay. She's going to walk between worlds and reunite the clans because she's the only one that can do it. Right? And we see that again, that she's the only one that can unite the clans here at the end of the episode. Now, caveat here, I agree with you. It felt a little rushed, right? And I blame the rest of the episode, not the scene. Mm-hmm. But like the Night Owls, pure blood Mandalorians, pretty much all of them, or all of them, literally, they call out Din Djarin, like he's got the darks. You run the Night Owls now. Fine. I give you back control of this clan. You're in charge. You beat me. Good for you. But you don't have the Darksaber though. You're no Mandalore. And he certainly can't be Mandalore because he's not even pure-blooded Mandalore. He's a foundling, right? Which I mentioned last episode. Like there's this. You keep hating on the Children of the Watch because they're a cult and they've got all these ideals they live by. Well, I mean, every Mandalorian's got that. Every clan's got different values they stick to religiously, right? Like the Children of the Watch, theirs is the Darksaber. Only somebody who's got the Darksaber can rule Mandalore, but only if they're pure-blooded Mandalorian.
I just think this whole show has become a hot mess.
I think it's a lot more clever than you're giving it credit for. That's not to say we're not getting some questionable content as well, but I feel like they're trying to tell a story that a completely different show is trying to tell, so that they can tell the overall story effectively as well. Mm-hmm. So we're getting subpar content like this, but they're still trying to tell a very clever and interesting story, which is of the Mandalorians uniting.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not buying any of it, but that's okay because I do.
I can recognize and admit that is the intent, that is the plan, that is the purpose. I just think they're doing a shit job of it. I think it's so damn messy now. And you've got 2 episodes left to wrap up so many different storylines that have supposedly been introduced and then ditched and don't matter and are brought back and then it matters again. And I just don't get it.
So who do you place that blame on then?
I think it's the writer's room. Because here's the thing that not a lot of people understand about TV show writers and directors versus movie writers and directors. On a movie, someone writes a screenplay, and once that screenplay is out of their hands and it's in the hands of the director, the creative vision and the the direction of the movie and how things are going to work and what happens and what doesn't. That's in the hands of the director. It becomes the director's project, right? And the script, the original screenplay, just kind of serves as the bare bones framework for what to kind of do. On a TV show, that's entirely different. On a TV show, the director of any given episode is simply there to ensure that the writer's vision comes to fruition, that it's created, and it's that the writers in TV have way more creative power and importance when it comes to the final product than it does in film. And so ultimately, if things seem rushed and slow, a TV show, a big finger, maybe not all of it, but a big finger has got to be pointed at the writers.
Right. So in this case, the main writers are Dave Filoni.
Yep.
And Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
There are two others there, but John and Dave would be probably considered the primaries.
Which, if we look at the other stuff that Dave Filoni writes, like if we look at Clone Wars is just as packed with useless throwaway what's the point episodes. However, because it's animated, it's a cartoon, it's kind of, whatever. We're like, it's just a fun little episode, whatever. And also, for the most part, the seasons of a show like Clone Wars has 22 episodes. So there's time to get around to and get back to what the point is. Your writing doesn't have to be as efficient. It doesn't have to be as clever and to the point and clean, because you've got a lot of time to mess around and come back to things. When you're doing a show like Mandalorian, and it doesn't have the benefit of animation, right? You're dealing with live action, so things are viewed under to present what the hell your story is and progress that story in a way that feels meaningful and consistent with your universe. You need to be a lot more efficient with your writing. You can't just do whole episodes that seemingly don't have anything to do with anything and abandon plot points halfway through and introduce 9 different things. Like, you just don't have the wiggle room for all of that. So I don't think it's just that, like, all of a sudden, like, Dave Filoni's off his game. I don't think that at all. I think that Dave Filoni's writing style and his skills as a writer work really well for a long animated season and struggle a little bit when it comes to a shorter, more concise live action season.
So then how do you explain the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian?
Well, because we don't know how much of that it was. Like, we don't know if
Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni were the primary writers for the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian.
Maybe more of that was Jon Favreau than it was Dave Filoni. I don't know, and maybe it's the opposite. Maybe, like, we don't know how much of this season. We don't, like, it'd be foolish to assume it's a 50-50 split with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. So I don't know. I don't know who's dropping the ball from a writing standpoint. It's just a potential theory of mine.
Right.
That this, storytelling wise, this feels very consistent with stuff that we saw in Clone Wars, which worked okay there, but certainly is not working for me here.
Yeah. I'll give you that this episode feels kind of like a filler episode from Clone Wars. But I think I wouldn't, and that in the end, the kind of the blame falls mostly on the writing, who's in charge of writing. But at the same time, I'm not, in terms of like things, some of the bigger decisions that caused Book of Fett to kind of flop, and that are causing this season to flop in people's eyes. I think that's got more to do with kind of the rumors that float around about how Lucasfilm's got two camps in it right now. There's a camp that kind of is in line with Kathleen Kennedy's vision and ways of thinking about how the Star Wars story should be told. And then there's Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni's camp. And that, like, and not all like I mentioned, the Rangers of the Republic thing being canceled, and that screwed up the storytelling that these two were trying to tell. And now they're trying to shoehorn these story beats into a show that they were never meant for. And that's causing problems. Having things like Grogu coming back in Book of Fett, feeling kind of very jarring, being like I think a lot of those kind of messy decisions weren't made by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. I feel like they've had to write around these problems that were created by other people making decisions that affected the story they were trying to tell.
Right.
And it's made their job more difficult than it should be.
Yeah. And another potential is that this is potentially the result of Jon Favreau having written this season and the next season together so that they knew where the story was going. And so maybe what we're getting is essentially what was written as a 16 episode season.
Part 1, part 2.
Just one season at a time. And so this season's going to end in a way that doesn't feel like the conclusive ending of a season, because it was written as 16 episodes.
It could have like a big cliffhanger kind of ending instead of something like what we had at the end of season 2.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, let's wrap this up, man. It's sloppy, it's messy. It's got some good moments. But ultimately, what the hell?
Yeah, there's lots of theory crafting that could be done about why it is what it is compared to what the first 2 seasons are, but nobody knows the truth except for those that are in the writer's room.
Yeah.
And
is this a win or a fail for you, sir?
This hits a weird middle ground for me, I think. I really liked how this show ended with Bo-Katan taking up the saber and not quite yet claiming the title of Mandalore, but compared to the way she did it in Rebels, she's the rightful kind of she has a rightful claim now. The saber wasn't given to her as a gift. She's claimed it through combat, and the Night Owls see that and respect that. It's kind of continues to pay off that she's going to be the one to unite the clans of Mandalore, which, I mean, I was hedging my bets on Din Djarin doing that. That was my hope. But kind of seeing the Night Owls' disdain for him and him not being a pure-blooded Mandalorian really felt right. It felt proper, you know? So I like that. I did like some of the kind of actual CSI investigating that happened. Din Djarin kind of being the bad cop, and Katie Sackhoff's Bo-Katan being the good cop. I thought that was pretty good. I feel like if they had cast lesser known actors instead of Jack Black and Doc, what's his name?
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, like I feel like it would have been a little bit more palatable of an episode. It was really disjarring seeing Jack Black. I don't know what that singer's name is that plays his wife, but she was not a good actor in this episode.
No.
Extremely unbelievable, and just kind of pulling me right out of the episode. But I mean, so it had a lot of downsides to it, but it had a few redeeming moments. So it finds some weird middle ground for me, I think.
Mm-hmm.
How much did you hate it?
It's a fail. It's a fail. It's a fail. Yeah. I don't know how else to put it.
Did it have like any redeeming moments? You said you didn't mind.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Din kicking the thing.
Droids. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was fun. That was really fun.
But like outside of that, and like a couple of the some fun action sequences.
Yeah.
It was a sloppy mess.
Yeah. Yeah, for me the good cop bad cop moments were and the ending were the really the meat and yummiest part of this episode.
Yeah.
Because they really did good cop bad cop. Like Bo-Katan's trying to be delicate and kind of work within the system and be kind of suave. Din Djarin's just like direct as a sledgehammer.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was really fun watching the two kind of use their own ways to navigate this problem.
Yeah.
Even the chase scene, like the battle droid knocked over some boxes and Din Djarin just kind of like really awkwardly jumped over them. Mm-hmm. And Bo-Katan just like really smoothly uses her jetpacks to give her a little bit extra boost and get over them cleanly. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Well, thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thank you.
Check out our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all listed below. Our Patreon, a great way to support the show for as little as $1 a month and get some fun perks back for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And we have merch. I would highly recommend. Our merch is better than this episode was of Mandalorian.
Yeah. Get some merch. It's better than Beskar armor.
Yes. And until next time, the only thing that I can say about the writing and the presentation of Mandalorian Season 3, this is not the way.